maybe somebody who got admission to a Canadian university and is about to apply for a study permit, or somebody who got a job offer and an LMIA from a Canadian employer and is about to apply for a work permit, or maybe you are someone who just got an ITA invitation to apply from the express entry pool and you're about to put in and submit the applications online. I want you to take a deep breath and pause before you submit those things, because hello folks, it's a good time to be here again to talk to you guys regarding Canadian immigration. My name is Olukade Victor Degede, and I'm here to share with you something very, very important today, something that has to do with the foundation of Canadian immigration. And today, we're going to be talking about the foundation of Canadian immigration law. When you have maybe somebody who got admission to a Canadian university and is about to apply for a study permit, or somebody who got a job offer and an LMIA from a Canadian employer and is about to apply for a work permit, or maybe you are someone who just got an ITA invitation to apply from the express entry pool and you're about to put in and submit the applications online. I want you to take a deep breath and pause before you submit those things, because immigration is law and it must be approached carefully. Canadian immigration is not just paperwork. It is not just uploading documents. It is a legal process governed by laws and policies. Once you understand this from the beginning, you'll be very careful of what to do, how to do it, and who to listen to. In Canada, immigration laws are created by parliament, not by visa or immigration officers. Parliamentarians are elected officials from different ridings in Canada that represent the people. Now, the fundamental law that guides immigration in Canada is what is called the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act, IRPA. And it set out so many things. It talks about who may remain in Canada, who may enter Canada, who must leave Canada at what time, who is admissible, who is inadmissible, and so many other aspects of Canadian immigration law. So I want you to think of IRPA as the backbone of Canadian immigration. Every decision traces back to it. IRPA does not stand by itself. It doesn't stand alone. It is supported by detailed legal rules called the Immigration and Refugee Protection Regulation, IRPR. Hence, if IRPA gives a broad authority about immigration, see IRPR as providing the operational details. So when your refusal letter says you have not satisfied me, the visa officer, that you meet R216 section 1 subsection B is referring to the regulation. The how in that statement is referencing regulation 216 section 1 and subsection B. So it is law. It is not an opinion. Now, you may also want to ask, who use these laws? Visa and immigration officers apply the law. They don't invent it. They are also obliged to apply the Act, the IRPA, and the regulations in a fair and reasonable way. So if they fail to do this properly, their decisions can be reviewed by the federal court. And that's when you hear about people saying that they are taking their case to the court for judicial review. That is handled by immigration lawyers. We'll talk about that in a different episode. Why does this really matter to you? You may be asking me. Now, here's what this means for you. If immigration is a matter of law, then a refusal is a legal finding. It could be a legal finding. Hence, the next time you are applying for a visa or status change in Canada, you must know that you are not just applying and hoping that it will work out. It is always very good to make sure that your application satisfies all statutory requirements. And every successful application must answer one question. For it to be successful, have I met the legal burden set out in the law and the policies? But how do you know if you don't understand, or if you don't have somebody who is a professional who is doing this for you? It is important not to rush to submit your visa application form. Before you press the submit button, make sure your application satisfies the legal requirements. Get somebody who understands these things to help you to assess it. And that's where we come in our organization at JEX Immigration and Consulting Services. We look at your application, we look at your profile. We want to make sure that you meet the requirements in the law, as set out in the law, in the policies, in the operational guidelines, to make sure that you are not just doing a guesswork. Okay, and that is why it is very, very important. We have to make sure that the risk in your profile is examined. We want to make sure that you put your strongest foot forward, and we want to make sure that you're not just doing a guesswork. Because immigration is not just about hope. It's about ensuring that you meet the requirements of the applicable immigration laws, the rules, and the policies. So we want to make sure that your application is not just submitted for the fun of submitting it or for the fun of meeting a deadline. You want to make sure that your application meets the legal threshold to make sure that you don't stand the risk of a refusal. And if it does happen, then we can look at the law again to examine whether the decision of the visa officer is fair or reasonable. And that is very, very important. So this is the essence of this episode today. And I'm going to be sharing more about these immigration laws, how it applies to different cases. And I want you to stay tuned with us. If you have not subscribed to this channel, I'm begging you. I want to subscribe. Go to the link below, subscribe. Make sure that you keep up with us. You keep following us, and you keep getting new updates from us often as we release them, so that you can be well guided, educated about what is important as far as Canadian immigration law is concerned. See you in the next episode.